Here we go.
Here we go.
So it's going to tell you where it's going to go. This direction.
Yeah, it's telling. This sort of gives you an idea of what it's doped out so far, and so
nothing. It detects the light.
So I can accelerate just like you can with cruise control if it's going too slowly, because sometimes it'll be a little bit hesitant, like it's not that sure.
You didn't have anything on the wheel. You were just kind of
spinning it. It's going to ask if I'm not paying attention and have pressure on the wheel. It's going to ask for a little bit of turning force to prove that I'm here.
Yep.
It's like anything that happens is my fault, not the car's.
Right.
And they want to make that very clear to people all the time, because people are like, particularly today, anything that you do is somebody else's fault these days. So,
they want to take
personal responsibility.
Take that out of play.
They're like, look, you've been told that you're responsible for everything that happens here. So we don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I actually prefer going this way. I wonder if it'll let me. No, that's not what I wanted to do.
Here's your answer.
I wanted to go.
Now you just manually override.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of pressure that you have to do to break it loose, and then that goes away.
Right.
So
it's off autopilot now.
Yeah, but it's off the steering part, but it's still on the traffic-aware cruise control. So the pedals I'm not managing, and then once it shows me a change in that route, so I don't have to go down that way, then once I'm through this, I'll turn this on. Now it wants to.
It kicks back in.
It's like confused. Should I go right? Yep. Should I go left? But now this will reroute. And it'll take me the way I want.
Resync it or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the charge and your mileage?
Okay, so this is rated at 209 right now. And that's about 76%.
Yep.
If you are like, where can I get a fast charge? Which we very seldom use a fast charge unless we're on a road trip.
Right.
Mostly it's just get home. It's like cell phone. Get home, plug it in.
Charge it in.
Leave
it overnight or whatever it is.
And then in the morning you got a full tank.
Yep.
So the experience of these cars is astonishing.
Yeah. So you get pretty close to 300 miles on the full charge.
Yeah, close to 300 miles on the full charge. In the wintertime, it's less. This car doesn't have a heat pump, so it's a fair amount less. I'm going to accelerate through this because those people are about to get in narrow. And now it's going to change lanes over here. You're doing pretty well. A new version came out, which is, I think, a little bit less spastic.
Yep.
Last night. When we bring the other car back, it's on the old version, so we'll see. Nope. So that's not something I think that it should have done. You caught that?
Yeah. And you over it. That's why you're paying attention, God forbid.
Yeah.
Wow. A pickup, huh? Holy shit.
Yeah, the battery's cold too, so.
That's one thing I would be concerned of with an electric car that you just proved wrong.
This car is a lot faster with a hot battery. So the other car we're getting is even faster than this. It's 3.5 seconds, 0 to 60.
Wow. I kind of feel like we just did that coming on this ramp, but
this is a 4.2 second car.
Okay.
With a cold battery, so that shows this should tell you, and it sees like the lights now.
Yeah.
Pretty soon it'll be able to distinguish directional, I think, and that'll be good. Like, this is how fast we're going, and that's what the traffic-aware cruise control is set for.
Right.
So what I'm seeing is the car is less intent
Yep.
on staying at exactly that speed. So it must be factoring in other things.
I saw that Rivian truck.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
In person?
No.
Oh,
on
okay.
TikTok or something, yeah. And
It's a nice truck.
It's like space age. It all is.
Yeah, it all is. So one of the things that I'm on my 6th electric vehicle. So like I started with basically a neighborhood golf cart.
Yep.
That you would only go 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Had doors and heated seats, but
Right.
it wasn't much fun in the winter.
Right.
You go to the grocery store or whatever. And then we leased a smart car, which was a 65 mile car, but it would go on the highway.
Yeah.
And it was $150 a month. So it was like cheapest car I ever had.
Yeah.
And then the Chevy Bolt came out, and Chevy was still qualified for the tax credit.
Yep.
And so what they do is they give the $7,500 tax credit. So it should be, okay, it went green. Should be sort of approaching. No, you hear it too.
Yep.
when I override it, and that's called an intervention.
Okay.
So the interventions are like some of the guys can drive from San Francisco to LA with no interventions. But it's, as you can see, route dependent.
Yes.
And circumstances and everything else.
So how does the Tesla compare to the Volt? Is it night and day? Is it
Yeah, the Volts, you'd have to get a used one if you wanted a Volt anyway.
they discontinued?
Yeah, this is 2019 they stopped. And the Bolt is it's basically a 200-mile car that you're lucky to get 140 miles out of.
Okay.
In the summertime. So I'm going to ask you to get out before I pull in, because my
Yep.
garage is very small.
Understandable.
And hang on, let me get you a little bit let's get a little closer. There we go. So, and just push the button. No, there you go. And then and the door.
Wow.